What's your unpopular rock music opinion? What is the weirdest thing someone has told you in confidence? Millennials, what confuses you about Gen Z? I'm Gen X, and I want to know why Gen Z wears those hot hoodies in the summer. Well, I know I did it because a lot of people poked fun at my body and I was very self-conscious, so thanks for that. Why are all the sneakers so bulky? Sneakerheads, you're on your own on that one. I don't get it. Where are all the Gen Z celebrities? Apart from Tom Holland and Zendaya, I can't think of a leading man or woman in Hollywood in their 20s. Ryan Gosling is playing Ken in the Barbie movie and he's 41. A ton of older celebrities are getting roles actors used to never get at their age. It's actually been a big issue. The amount of actors doing action movies or other typically young roles in their late 40s and 50s is stunning. How do all these young guys get their hair to look that way? That's super in right now. Are they out getting perms? A recent haircut visit and chatting with the hairdresser confirmed this. Perms are popular right now, apparently. Why does it seem like they all skipped the awkward phase? It's like they came out of elementary school knowing how to coordinate outfits and drink Starbucks. Not me, baby. I'm still in the awkward phase. Why some of them act like they pioneered the social media / influencer boom, or look at me surprised because I have Snapchat, etc., even though many of these came out when millennials like me were in our early 20s and the core demographic. I'm 24, so what confuses me most is which generation I belong to. You're a cusp, 1 foot in each generation, the bridge between worlds. So does that mean we're basically like the Avatar? Why do the guys in your generation get haircuts that make them look like a head of broccoli? Are you okay? Anywhere I go to shop, y'all look miserable. I mean this in a genuine way, LOL. I would often prefer to be anywhere else. I'm just mad that I had to leave my bedroom. What's something you did as a teenager that you look back on and think, holy f***, that was f***ing stupid? Walking from Virginia to Maryland over the frozen Potomac River on my sophomore year in high school. I got about halfway out and laid down in the ice so that I could see along the bottom of the river. It wasn't until several years later that I heard on the news that the Potomac never freezes over enough for people to walk on it. Ooh, sounds like you got pretty lucky. Post constant, nonsensical updates to my Facebook wall. Well, what teenager didn't? I thought that, if I acted angsty and pushed people away from me, I'd make people want to know more about me and why I was so distant. For any current teenagers who didn't already know, this doesn't work. People will just let you be alone, and go find someone who's more friendly to them being around. At the age of 15/16-ish, I traveled to England by myself to meet an internet stranger / lover. OMG. We need the full story. How did you pull that off? I had been babysitting for a while. Money wasn't an issue. I told my parents I was staying with a friend's cousin. I actually maintained a relationship with this person for over 2 years, so my parents did eventually meet them, but they never learnt who I was really visiting that time. Stayed at a shitty job for years because of no reason at all. I woke up and went to bed every day hating the job and wishing I didn't have it. This was during a time when part-time jobs like mine were not hard to find. I could have moved on to something else anytime I wanted. I know this because once I finally did decide to look for something else, I found it within days. I still look back on it and wonder why I spent the last of my teen years hating life because of a job that I only had for extra pocket money. It taught me that it's really easy to get used to something shitty and to not let something like that happen again. Roll down a hill inside the center of a giant cable spool the telephone company had left behind. I was fine, but could have easily fallen out and broken my spine. Oh, I can hear the Mario slide music right now. Tried to be popular. Unfortunately, I don't think being popular is something you can really try to do. Texting with complete strangers and giving them too much information about myself. Dude, I already told you my social security number. Now you want my mom's maiden name? Well, anyways, it's neon lime green skinny jeans. This one feels like just a randomly generated sentence. Socially skilled people of Reddit, what are your go-to topics when a conversation goes awkwardly quiet? Ask about their hobbies or talk about your own. I realized I was talking to the love of my life and she asked about my love of Factorio and production games. Not only I could talk about it for what felt hours, she kept engaging with it and now she has her own Factorio factory. Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. I guess that's a pretty good baseline to follow. Something I haven't seen is to be a good listener. Conversation often goes quiet because you really haven't listened to the person, so things just kind of die off. While the other person is talking, actually listen to what they say. Don't plan your response while they're talking. I've found when I actively listen that conversations rarely just get awkwardly silent. Anyone up to date on Great British Bake Off? Oh Oh man, yeah? My top 3 is Maxi, Janusz, and Sandro. What about you? I will simply add that silence is awkward only if you make it so. Learn to be comfortable with pauses. Take a sip of your drink. Look at your surroundings and the person you're talking to. You don't need to fill a void. Confidence comes from within. Socially skilled people of Reddit, you're kidding, right? Politics. Always bring up politics. Also how much everyone makes. And religion too. People love to talk about the way their favorite god wishes you to live your life. That's a dangerous one, but it is a conversation starter. What do you value more than money? Oh, for me, it's my dog. He's such a sweet little guy. Time, obviously. If I had infinite time, that would be epic. Health. Unfortunately, in America, your money is directly tied to your health. Free time. My inner peace. Non-negotiable. My wife. I also choose this guy's wife. Human connection and time with people. You must have been losing it during the pandy then, huh? My cat. Which pizza is the best pizza? Surprise pizza. Come home from a long day at work and see they ordered pizza. Oh boy! Free pizza. You really can't go wrong when it's free. Personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut in 1996 that was free because I read some books. Margarita pizza. Oh, unfortunately, you're wrong. Wood-fired pizza. I really can't say if I've eaten much wood-fired pizza, so no comment. Detroit. I love thick and crunchy crust. Pepperoni. You can't beat the classics. Pineapple. I'll die on that hill. You and me both, buddy. But if you don't like that, then you can send me DMs that I will not look at. Breakfast pizza. I don't think I've ever had that, but I guess it could be good? I don't know. Chicago style meat lovers. Gonna be honest here, not a big fan of Chicago style. Not sure what it is. What in weddings makes you cringe? Guests who take pictures of the ceremony with a fucking iPad. Releasing of doves into the sky. At my wedding, I will release rats into the crowd. I recently went to a wedding where the bride and groom had signs and decor with "It was always you" everywhere. When the bride and groom met, the bride was one of 3 women the groom was dating. They spent a decade cheating on all of their partners to be with each other before they finally got together. But I guess that was all okay because it was always you. What a weird thing to highlight with your decorations at your wedding. When someone else proposes to their significant other, like, why take all the attention from the bride and groom and put it on yourself instead? It's so selfish. They're just trying to save money, you know? They can get their own ceremony going at that current wedding. When the groom goes up the bride's skirt in front of all their family, it's so extremely weird and out of place to me. Like, why would you want to do that in front of your parents and grandparents? I really don't get why that's even a tradition. When you overhear an exchanging of words and nobody's ever heard of closing the goddamn door. No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poise and rationality. If you didn't pick up on that cute little reference, I think that was Fall Out Boy. Any wedding where the bridesmaids and groomsmen have been ordered to perform a choreographed dance at any point during the festivities, whether that's dancing up the aisle or a full-on dance number during the reception, smashing the slice of cake in each other's face. Oh, it's so cute how you got my face all dirty and now we're wasting the food. Aww. Ball and chain jokes. Why TF are you getting married then? I'll never understand straight people in that regard. Like, you just hate your significant other, so why did you do this? So many Ed Sheeran songs. I'm really glad I haven't been to a wedding in a long time. What seems fun, but was actually not fun the first time you did it? Being adult, because I can do whatever I want. Now in my 30s, I wake up and work, pay bills and taxes while fight off crippling depression. Going to a big theme park. I spent hours standing in line getting sunburned for some 3 to 4 minute rides. My feet and legs were so sore from standing in one place for that long. And everything was ridiculously expensive. And there were screaming children everywhere. I honestly just wanted to go home after a couple rides. Sleeping on a trampoline as a kid. Oh, I always wanted to do that, but I guess it is kind of uncomfortable since your body's like bent. All little kids want to mow the lawn when they watch their dad do it. Once they do it, they realize that it actually sucks. Last time I mowed the lawn, I think I was blind for 2 days because of just like the grains and allergies kicking in. Sitting close to the screen in a movie theater. I was front row for The Truman Show. It was amazing. Every other time was miserable, but Truman Show was somehow different. Clubbing. Fucking terrible. I don't know how people have the energy. It's just stressful. Receiving mail. Always looked forward to receiving mail when I was a kid. As an adult, not so much. Because most of the time it's just bills or advertisements, so it's really annoying. Snow skiing. The first time is miserable. That's why I stay shredding on my board, baby. What is a horror movie yet to be made? Aliens abduct a human, but the human is actually a psychopathic serial killer, and and is now loose on their ship, hunting them down. Jason X was almost that, but not quite. What a special movie. I think the scariest movie that seemingly nobody has made would be about the things we imagine in the dark. Somebody behind you when you turn off the lights at the top of the stairs, walking by a bedroom or closet and somebody is there type thing. I hate coming up from the basement in the night or even walking by the den just to make sure nobody is standing there. A movie like that would actually f*** me up. This is exactly what scared me so much about the Babadook. His silhouette reminds me of being little and frightened of a coat rack in the dark because it somewhat resembled a person. There's a scene at a police station that actually has a coat rack that kinda looks like the Babadook and the main character is spooked by it. Desperate screenwriters trawling Reddit for horror movie ideas. So long as it isn't full-blown plagiarism, if they're just getting ideas and then they expand on it, go for it. Don't know why, but I feel like Jennifer Aniston playing a sadistic murderer would be good because you wouldn't want to believe it. In that scenario, I guess it would have to be like some sort of reveal that she's the murderer. A movie filled to the brim with tension and dark atmosphere where every jump scare is a cat and there's actually nothing happening. Just someone with an overactive imagination who keeps getting scared by their cat. Coming to screens near you. Generalized anxiety disorder. The movie. I don't buy into this mentality in real life, but always thought it would make an intriguing story. A protagonist in a large city is terrified that people are looking at and stalking them. In the beginning, it seems that the protagonist is just paranoid and mistaken, but as the story progresses, the audience slowly realizes that the protagonist is completely correct. It could explore themes of social anxiety, paranoia, antisocial behavior, modernity, and more. Sounds like The Truman Show. Black Mirror did something similar to this in the episode White Bear. If The Truman Show was only following Truman's perspective, not like seeing the outside world, I think it would be a really good horror movie. High School the Musical 4. Oh god, no, not this! A poo that resents you for parting with it that takes its way through the sewers to find you and kill you. While I do really like that, I don't know how marketable that would be. What was a lesson you learned too late? Do not get multiple credit cards. Don't do it, it's a bad idea. Sometimes you have to initiate. You can't just wait around for people to come to you. That people won't do the same fucking thing you did for them, however life-saving it was. Take care of your teeth. I'm trying, okay? It is important to think critically and deeply about who the person you're in love with actually is. Not be caught up in who they appear to be. But at the same time, don't overthink too hard where you imagine a fake personality onto them because, oh, believe me, I've done that. If your date is an asshole to random people, it's only a matter of time before they treat you like that as well. Find happiness that doesn't rely on others. Easier said than done. You can't satisfy everyone. Oh yeah? Watch me. If you never take chances, you'll be full of regrets. Problems do not go away if you ignore them long enough. In some circumstances, they get worse actually. What would you do if you woke up with telekinesis? See if I can make myself fly. That's probably the first thing. I'm sick of driving. Not tell anyone. Then you can pull little pranks on people. Hee. Immediately set about testing and developing my powers privately. How fine control do I have? Can I type with it and tie my shoes? What's the weight limit? Can I move a couch? Throw a car? Can I fly? How long can I maintain something? If someone gets all road ragey, can I just make their car pull over and hover a half inch above the shoulder for half an hour? Can I move people? Can I punch things? I'd keep it a secret as long as possible until I figure out exactly what my capabilities are. Then go watch Chronicle for more ideas. Andrew, come on, man. Come on, Andrew. Dress up as Darth Vader and tell people I find their lack of faith disturbing. Embrace my username. Tell it on it. Okay, I see what you mean. Clearly the answer is hands-free. No? Does that mean you could do it with like clothes on? Cause whoa. Probably hit snooze without moving. Be careful not to just shatter your phone or alarm clock though. What's the worst type of music? Alright everyone, let's remember, music is subjective. That fucking alarm clock. Especially Apple's. Every time I hear it out of context, I get a mini panic attack. Oh, you mean this one? The music you don't like. This is the only reply that makes sense, TBH. Anything you hear being blasted on public transport or hiking. Please don't use Bluetooth speakers when you're going hiking. I know it's fun with your friends, but it's also noise pollution and kind of scaring the animals away from their zones. TikTokers that release a breakup song and go, "Did I just release the song of the summer?" No, you did not. But unfortunately, the algorithm is going to force me to hear it 40 times. Corporate advertising music with ukulele and whistling. Oh, you mean every Kickstarter since 2010? That one U2 album that got randomly downloaded on my phone years ago. They will never live this down, and I fully support that. To be fair, it wasn't U2 that put the album on everyone's phone. U2 just wanted to make the album free in iTunes. It was Apple's decision to force it onto everyone's devices. Would you say they did it pro bono? Oh my god, whatever. The music used in 99% of TikToks. Country designed to appeal to too many people. Mainstream pop rap is quite annoying. Pop rap? I don't know if I have an exact example in mind. Mumble rap or music played at gyms. Whatever's currently in the charts. Oh, so you just don't like new music? Got it. Time to sort by controversial. Whatever genre Imagine Dragons is. Rock. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty close. Older people of Reddit who grew up without a phone, how did you spend your free time in your 20s? Drove around aimlessly, hung out at coffee shops, went to movies and concerts, walked around parks and the mall, played video games, went to diners with friends, played card and board games, sat out in the dark and watched falling stars. Don't worry, these things aren't lost to time. All you have to do is go outside and put the phone down and you can do these things too. Ever wonder why so many old folks sit in front of the TV so much? And before the TV, they'd sit around the radio. The people on public transport couldn't bury their heads in cell phones, so everyone buried their heads in newspapers. Distracting ourselves with media is kind of timeless. Before I got married and had kids in my mid-20s, I spent time with friends. Game nights, bars, playing pool, other social events. I had a very busy social and dating life. High school had landlines and walking around the mall, eating in the food court, and a movie. 20s were landlines, drinks, darts, and pool. The true difference was there was something to talk about, because without instant communication, you had to tell your buddies or actually face-to-face flirt with the opposite sex. Biggest advantage was if you did it well, it led to pretty much immediate physical contact, hand-holding, kissing, etc. Reading, television, hanging out with friends, bike riding. I went to a lot more movies, and I have to admit, my house was a lot cleaner, with no fear of being recorded and it ending up on YouTube. This sounds like a very Karen worry out in the world, though I'm not saying that they are, it's just the vibe I'm getting. 50 years old. So I was in my 20s during the 90s. All free time was spent skateboarding, playing punk music, or drinking/getting laid. Didn't own a TV till my 30s. I don't know why I gave you like southern accent, sorry. Nintendo 64. That sounds like what I would have been up to. What do you do after you first wake up? Hit snooze and go right back to sleep. Roll around in bed for 30 minutes and then join my morning Zoom meeting just in the nick of time. Try to go back to sleep. Do you really have to try at that point? Drink water. Sorry, not everyone can be like you. Step 1, denial. Step 2, bargaining. 3, anger. 4, depression. 5, acceptance. I never get to 5. It's too much work. Rub my balls. I too rub this guy's balls. How does it feel to be living my dream? Literally fart. A big one. Okay, I guess. And so I wake up in the morning and 1, step outside, and 2, I take a deep breath, and 3, I get real high, and 4, I scream from the top of my lungs, "What's going on?" Sit on the side of the bed, chug some cold water, and cry. The Halloween season is upon us. What horror film do you recommend? I said Barbarian a while ago, so this one is gonna be It Follows. That movie just gets under my skin. It's so creepy. The Shining. Alright, for the time, yeah, it probably was scary. To me, no. Shaun of the Dead. My first R-rated movie. Ooh, solid pick. The Thing is mandatory watching for me around Halloween. Absolutely. #1 classic, and if you like Among Us, that's where they got the idea. Original Halloween. We watch it every Halloween. Rosemary's Baby, 1968, is an absolutely stunning horror movie. It's even pretty light on jump scares and gore if you're squeamish. Despite that, it's creepy as hell and even quite profound. That said, it's not exactly Halloween-y, if you know what I mean. It doesn't have that autumnal, pagan, magical, orange and black quality to it. I'm actually drawing a little blank on movies that really capture the vibe of the season, but The Vivitch would be a decent example. Cabin in the Woods, amazing pick, and it's mostly a comedy that kind of just picks apart the tropes of horror movies. The Exorcist, it's every bit as disturbing as it was when it came out. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, in fact, go ahead and watch The Witch's Ghost and The Cyber Chase to complete the holy trio. The modern remake of Zombie Island is trash. The original is fucking lit. Not exactly horror, but Coraline. Always Coraline. The other mothers still freaks me out to this day, even though like I'm, a 23-year-old man. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Still haven't watched this one. It's not because I don't like clowns or anything, I don't know. Who is the best example of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain? Fritz Haber. He discovered a way to synthesize ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen gas, which is crucial for fertilizers. He was also later employed by Germany during World War I to find a way to weaponize chlorine, thus becoming the father of chemical warfare after successfully doing so. Basically, he saved billions and killed millions. My dad. He was always against the HOA in our neighborhood. Long story short, he wrote an apparently strong-worded letter about all the changes he would make, rules he would enforce, etc. There happened to be a vacancy up for grabs, and he ended up as the president. Now he walks around the neighborhood about everyone else's yards. A whole load of these examples prove that it's not you become the villain, it's that eventually your secret villainy gets found out. Kevin Spacey would have gone down as an acting legend. Still can't believe he really just tried saying, oh no, it's okay, I'm gay, so that's why it's alright. Like, come on, man. Chrome vs. Explorer. People forgot, but Chrome was once viewed as the heroic frontier market breakers. I just hope Firefox will die a hero. Facebook. When it first came about, it was seen as a safe social media because you had to have a student ID to make an account. It was for high school and college students only. Parents/adults at the time were worried about their kids having contact with adult predators on MySpace following many horror stories from AIM and MySpace interactions. Now it's a show of adults posting 24/7 and kids lying about their age to get an account. Data mining users, normalization of sharing personal data, and the company not giving a shit about online safety. The biggest crime is that the social network almost tries to phrase it that Zuckerberg is like a sympathetic character when no. Jared from Subway. Absolutely disgusting human being, he deserves more than just 15 years. O.J. Simpson. The craziest thing is that man jokes about it now. Married people of Reddit, what's something you wish unmarried people knew? Being married shouldn't take away from having a good relationship with yourself. It's okay to use 2 blankets. No one likes to wake up with cold cheeks because your spouse stole the blanket. The wedding is just one day and does not fix any issues. It goes back to the exact same relationship afterwards. And if you're lucky, that's a good thing. A gracious, heartfelt apology goes a long way. Common values matter way more than common interests. It's better to stay single forever than to marry the wrong person. In my own opinion, I think marriage is a scam. Just move in with the person you like, and if things don't work out, oh well, it's not like you have to go to court. Film snobs of Reddit, who was the single worst casting choice in Hollywood film history? John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Who thought that was a good idea? I waited almost 30 years for a Morbius, the Living Vampire film. Then they cast Leto. James Corden in Cats. James Corden in anything, really. The cast for The Last Airbender. The acting alone was enough to make it the worst movie of that year. I mean, I've seen better acting in Liberty Mutual commercials. Oh, and those are bad. I'm not a film snob, but Jared Leto as the Joker stands out as a WTF choice. I feel so bad for his castmates because he was a literal maniac on set and off set. Steven Seagal as anything, I think. Luckily, he only casts himself in his own movies, so we're safe. Mark Wahlberg in The Happening. I'm not sure any casting choice could have made that movie not suck, but I couldn't believe for even a second that Wahlberg was just a dorky science teacher trying to survive. I'm gonna amend that. I think Mark Wahlberg in the Uncharted movie as Sully? What were they thinking? Valerian with Cara Delevingne. She had no feelings and zero chemistry with the other main character, Dane DeHaan, who I've also never seen in another movie. Worst casting ever. I think Dane does a pretty good job in the other movies he's in. I mean, minus Spider-Man a little bit, but yeah. Kristen Stewart in Snow White and the Huntsman. Oh my god, I forgot about that movie. Pretty much everyone in the Netflix Death Note movie. Oh yeah, what were they thinking? Like, Netflix, really? Get it together. What is something ancient that only an internet veteran can remember? Signing the guest book on sites and traffic/visitor counters. Putting a counter on your own website and refreshing the page a whole bunch of times. I mean, people would do that on Tumblr, so it's not that old. Passworded website chat rooms where the password was in the HTML source, so it was accessible by anybody that could do more than left click. Yahoo was a list of websites, then became a major search engine, then dominated email, maps, message groups, chat, instant messenger, news, dating. Now it barely survives. Browser software on 3.5-inch floppy disks taped to the front of PC magazines. The instant household rage because someone picked up the phone. Good old dial-up, baby. It is now safe to turn off your computer. Slowly watching the image you wanted to see load one line at a time. The hamster dance. According to Merriam-Webster, hamster dance is not that old. Come on now. ASL? For the kids out there that don't know what this means, it means American Sign Language. And that's it. Don't go looking it up. What movie ending is horribly depressing? 7. Oh, that one's so rough. The ending of American History X hit me pretty hard the first time. Hate is Baggage. Bridge to Terabithia. I saw that movie as a kid and rewatched it last year, and again, I cried like a bitch. Hey, you're not a bitch, okay? That movie gets us all. The Fox and the Hound. Oh no, don't bring those memories back. Memento is a singular movie to me where I thought it was brilliant and I never want to watch it ever again. Requiem for a Dream. My roommate said that movie messed her up, so I need to watch it soon. $1 Million Baby. I haven't watched it. I know it's like, what, a boxing movie? I don't know. What is something that your profession allows you to do that would otherwise be illegal? I test fire alarm systems, so I pull the pull stations all the time. Lucky, I always wanted to do that in school. I can carry scissors at the airport. Pass through airport security without a boarding pass. So you work at a McDonald's in the airport? I collect and catalog child sexual abuse materials after I break into people's cell phone and computers without their permission. Please tell me you work for the police or something, cause otherwise why are you holding on to it? Sticking my finger in people's asses. Debt collector? I know they're probably a doctor, but that's still just a weird sentence to say, I think. Touch bottoms of strangers. I mean, that's technically not illegal if you have their permission. Or are you saying you're allowed to touch people's bottoms without permission? Throw mixed chemical substances into a giant firebox without any hazmat suit. Grab strangers and throw them in the air. Russian political henchman? Ballet dancer. Part-time/guest artist, but it sounds cool. Which celebrities should just go away? Dr. Phil. Ever since I saw him treat the girl that didn't want to see her biological mother like that, I'm convinced he has some sort of god complex and a bit of an asshole. The way the audience cheered on Dr. Phil as he's laying into the girl is really uncomfy. The entire Kardashian clan and whomever they happen to be banging at any given time. Chris Brown. Thankfully, I haven't heard much about him in the past few years, but he should just go away. Nick Cannon. Did he do something bad? I'm kind of out of the loop. Caitlyn Jenner. People forget that she killed someone in 2015. Vehicular manslaughter. Killed 1 and injured 7. She's praised as a hero. It seems this barely even tarnished her reputation. I mean, South Park still kind of clowns her. Any celebrity that's a product pusher and controversial at the same time. We shouldn't be talking about them anymore. Britney Spears. Hear me out. She lived all those years under a team's thumb, but now she's free. She can go do anything she wants to do. Live her life as she sees fit. Unexpectedly wholesome. Leave Britney alone. Kanye West. Dude's not okay. He needs mental health help, and for the media to stop romanticizing all of the crazy and toxic things he does. Every time I see him pop up with some new antics, I immediately run to the medicine cabinet to double check that I remembered to take my meds the night before. There have actually been a couple times where his goofy ass helped me keep from doing wacky shit myself by accident. I don't care how talented you think Kanye is, he needs to be, like, institutionalized or something, especially after his tweets recently. Good lord. Jared Leto! 100%. I mean, the dude literally made a cult. I would say Ellen, but her show was not picked up anymore, since everyone figured out she does not practice what she preaches. Most talk show hosts, especially James Corden, talk show hosts really just have a god complex because they get to talk to all of the other famous people. What is the weirdest thing someone has told you in confidence? I started a new job, and the lady at the desk next to me was this nice older Christian lady, and she just sort of told me out of the blue that she had surgery on her labia to look better because it was ugly. I didn't really know how to respond to that. There is no good response to that. I had a neighbor who wanted to buy a wife. He wanted to get surgery to get taller. He went on dates with men, realized he wasn't gay, just lonely. He was on a 7-year dry spell, no sex, finally hits it and ghosts the girl because she was ugly. He ended 2 female friendships because they didn't ask him out. He got married for tax reasons and his wife left him for a Bernie bro. I don't know if I think he's toxic or sad or both. He also went to Yale and is a doctor. Oh my lord, that is a roller coaster for sure. I was in a park once, sitting maybe 10 feet away from a stranger. He asked me what hour it is, and once I told him, he used it as a way to start a small talk. I felt he was weird from the start. Then, word after word, I don't know how we reached the point of him telling me that there is no difference between between swallowing your own saliva directly or spitting it out and then swallowing it again, and that he sometimes spits on his food just to prove this theory. At that point, the only thing that came to my mind is to stand and go. Sometimes I think the devs just like to give NPCs some quirky little dialogue. I sold cars. People told me all sorts. The one I remember is the guy that told me he was impotent. Why tell me? I had a guy that had eye cancer show me what was under his patch once as well. That was memorable. He liked to strip Barbie dolls naked, dip them in the bath, and suck the water out of their boobs. This was when we were in the 3rd grade together, and it was the second thing he told me after his name. I mean, at least he knows what he likes? I guess. That they lost a tampon inside themselves weeks earlier, and if I could help them look for it. Did you find it? There's a lot of weird stuff I'm down for, but that is not one of them, LMAO. I told her she needs a doctor ASAP due to the possibility of TSS. They found it and she was fine. When I was in school, a guy flat out told me that every time he saw me, he wanted to bite me. Not sure what to make of it. That they think Satan has been possessing them every once in a while, and then said that they had main character energy. Oh, they're one of those people. What's your unpopular rock music opinion? You can still enjoy and appreciate songs that aren't life-changing masterpieces. Basing your tastes and personality on what sucks is lame. That applies to every music genre, I think. It's okay to not like certain periods of a band. It doesn't make you less of a fan. Certain rock bands' secret for their it factor is just that they had a jazz drummer. They make decent tracks great and great tracks timeless. People care way too much about what genre a certain band or artist is. IDGAF if a band sells out or not. If I like their songs, I like their songs. Rock and metal can be as bland and soulless as shitty pop music. In fact, a lot of it is. Tattoos and electric guitar don't make you cool if you were singing about your sugar baby butterfly. A lot of gatekeepers in this genre. I went on metal memes for the first time and I learned that I only listen to poser bands. Way too many music snobs in the genre. Some people like Taylor Swift and One Direction. Get over it. Nothing worse than being at a gig and some douche is banging on about how no one here is a real fan who liked them before they were mainstream. Yeah, if everyone here was, you'd be in a tiny crowd and your favorite band probably wouldn't be making music anymore. I'll never understand gatekeeping music. If you like the band, you want them to be big, right? Well, I gotta go listen to some Weezer, so I'll catch y'all later. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, my name's been Brandon, and I'll speak into your head another day. Bye!